Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel Journey with Vijay Kumar Srivastav. Today we are going to study the topic ratoon cropping. So let's move to the presentation. First, to understand what is ratoon cropping. Ratooning is the agricultural practice of harvesting a monocot crop by cutting most of the above ground portion but leaving the roots and the growing shoots apices intact so as to allow the plants to recover and produce a fresh crop in the next season. In other way, ratooning is a practice of growing a crop from the stubbles of previous crop. So in case of ratooning, there are some specific crops which can be grow, and after harvesting there will be again regeneration from the shoots. Features of ratooning. The characteristic features of ratoon crop is such that when the shoot portion is harvested, the remaining root system being intact will result in fresh tillers from secondary shoots, and another crop can be harvested during the following year. In a ratooning manner, nearly 2 to 3 crops can be harvested without much risk and uncertainties. The ratio of maiden crop means plant crop and the ratoon crop is 1 by 3. That is to say, only about 25% is maiden crop and bulk of the area is under ratoon crop. Apparently, the ratoon crop deserves much higher attention and care in the present scenario to boost the productivity of sugarcane. Ratoon cropping is a form of cultivation in which a second crop is allowed to grow from the remains of one already harvested, means plant crop. Ratooning refers to raising a crop with regrowth coming out of roots or stalks after harvest of crops. And ratooning is a method of harvesting a crop which leaves the roots and the lower parts of the plant uncut to give the ratoon or the stubble crop. It is also called stubble cropping, is the new plants grow from the stubble of the harvested crop. So ratooning can be defined in a different ways. The main benefit of ratooning that the crop matures early in the season. Ratooning can also be decrease the cost of preparing the field and planting. Ratooning cannot be used endlessly as the yield and quality decrease after each cycle. So there is limitation where we can go for 2 to 3 crops. In sugarcane, for example, 2 to 3 ratooning crops are possible, after which fresh planting has to be done. Ratooning is most often used with crops which are known to give a steady yield for 3 years under most conditions. Ratoon word is originated from Latin words ratonus, a Spanish word retono, and French word rejeton. In a Latin word, ratonus means cut down or mown. In case of a Spanish word, retono represents fresh shoot or a sprouting, and French word rejeton represents sucker or shoots or offspring. Means the meaning of the all words are representing the regeneration capacity from the parent crop. The first harvest of a crop is called plant crop, and ratooning is a raising a fresh crop of sugarcane from the preceding plant crop stubble regrowth without fresh planting of seeds. This is the first ratoon. When a ratoon is raised from the stubble regrowth of the first ratoon, it is called second ratoon. Now to study the preferred ratoon crops. The ratoon practice is widely used in the cultivation of crops like rice, sugarcane, banana and pineapple. Besides above crops, there are some other crops where ratooning is preferred like cotton, mint, pearl millet, pigeon peas and sorghum. Ratooning is frequently used on plants that will be processed for essential oils, fiber and medicines. Ratooning is most often used with the crops which are known to give a steady yield for 3 years under most conditions. Ratoon crops cannot be perennially renewed and may be harvested only for a few seasons, as a decline in yield tends to occur due to increased crowding, damaged by pests and diseases, and decreasing soil fertility. So there are limitations related to ratoon cropping. In sugarcane ratoon cropping, roots and shoots are playing very important role. As roots are concerned, the root system in sugarcane is fibrous and consists of the two types of roots, which are termed as set roots and shoot roots. Set roots emerge within 24 hours of planting, and these roots are fine and highly branched roots which sustain the growing plant in the first weeks after germination. And the secondary roots, shoot roots, these are second type of roots which emerge from the base of new shoots 5 to 7 days after planting. In case of stalks are above ground portion of plant which bears leaves and flower. A small portion of stalks is below ground, which is called as rootstock. At each node, there is a bud, sometimes known as eye, appearing on opposite sides of the cane, and the stalk consists of segments called joints, and each joint is made up of nodes and internode. Now we will go through quintessence, means typical truth about sugarcane ratoon cropping. Sugarcane ratoon cropping is having shorter crop cycle. There is reduced cost of production, particularly in related to seed. There is better utilization of climatic condition, especially the monsoon type. Ratoon cropping extend the milling period because ratoons are available for grinding from the opening of sugar factory because of its less duration nature. The lower hydration levels and early flushing out of nitrogen in ratoons are possible causes for their early maturity in case of ratoon cropping. Ratoon cropping constitutes around 50% of the total area under sugarcane and having early maturity than the plant crop. Ratoon productivity has been proved to increase if proper managements are practiced, like timely agriculture operations, proper nutrition management, integrated pest management, and maintenance of adequate plant population. In case of ratoon crop, there is generally early maturity compared to plant crop, at least 1 to 1.5 months. Then the question arises, why a ratoon crop ripens earlier than its corresponding plant crop? There are various reasons which can be described, like there is early development of shoots in case of ratoon cropping. There is maintenance of relatively lesser nitrogen content in index tissues. And in case of ratoon cropping, there is a rapid run out of nitrogen during grain growth phase period and relatively higher inorganic non-sugars presence in its juice. So these factors are resulting in short duration and early ripening. In sugarcane ratoon cropping, there is generally yield reduction compared to plant crop because of several anomalies present in ratooning system. A sensual retrospection into the cultural practices being adopted for ratoon management, which has revealed several anomalies which needs to be rectified in order to enhance the yield. And these anomalies can be described as burning of traces, which is causing negative impact on soil environment. There is improper planting material, which is having the less ratooning capacity. Inappropriate plant density in case of ratoon crop, so proper gap filling should be done at the time of ratooning. Nutrient mismanagement, unscrupulous irrigation, and pestering insects and diseases, and inefficient weed management. So these are the several anomalies which are need to be corrected to get the good yield and performance of ratoon cropping. Now to go through advantages of ratoons. Ratoons are economical by 25 to 30% in operational cost because of saving in the cost of sets. No initial preparatory cultivation required. Ratoons are having short crop cycle. Ratoons save time is they establish early and in general mature early at least 1 month. Therefore, they can be harvested early also. Ratoons stabilize the cane area of a factory, and ratoons often give better quality cane. Saving of labor. Since many operations such as collection of seed cane, cutting of the seeds and planting are not undertaken in ratoon crops, so there is saving of labor because of such operations. The leftover in the field, especially in the form of fallen leaves, trash, etc., in due course of time gets converted into organic matter, and there is reduced cost of production. The expenditure involved in growing ratoon crops is less as compared to plant crops because of removal of many operations like field preparation or collection of seeds or resowing methods, etc. Now, disadvantages of ratoon cropping. In case of ratoon cropping, cane yields are generally lower than plant crop yields. There is reduced juice quality compared with plant cane. Nitrogenous fertilizers requirement is more. In almost all the places, the ratoon crops receive neglected attention, and neglected cultivation makes the ratoon crops more prone to pest and diseases. Under some situation in certain varieties, flowering takes place and usually delay in the harvest. Ratoons contain more pith and fiber content than plant crops that might ultimately affect the sugar recovery. There is restricted stable root system in case of ratoon cropping, and the ratoons are having shallower root system. Ratoons have less anchorage and susceptible to lodging and drought, as the shoots of successive ratoons originates from higher level. Old stable roots have less efficiency to absorb nutrients. So these are the some drawbacks of ratoon cropping. Assessment of ratooning ability. Yield of ratoon crop is a function of yield potential and its ratooning ability. The characters like high plant cane yield, a stock population, and a sprouting of stable buds are useful in selecting good ratooners, as these are valuable parameters for selection of ratooning variety. Ratoon and environment interaction were high in varieties with poor ratooning ability and inherited differences in potential productivity, which appear to be responsible for ratoon decline. In Jamaica, to calculate decline in ratoon productivity, a ratoon performance index (RPI) is used as a measurement. Multiple ratooning decline yields. In India, 1 to 2 ratoons are most common, but there are some instances, examples, where multi-ratoonings are also prevailing in certain pockets of Tamil Nadu. Cane yield decline in successive ratoon cropping, which is a common phenomenon in most of the sugarcane growing countries of the world. A 10% decline is considered quite normal in case of ratoon cropping. A decline in cane yield in successive ratoon crops, so-called ratoon decline, on the order of 20% had been reported from many sugarcane growing areas in India, and this decline may be more up to 40% in subtropical conditions of India. Average yield gap between plant crop and ratoon crop in the country is 20 to 25%. Low ratoon yield is one of the reasons for the low average yield of the country. Here to study the reason behind decline in ratoon yield. The major causes for yield decline in ratoon crops in the country are explained here. First one is poor ratoon crop management in respect to manuring, fertilizer management, cultural practices, field preparations, and timely operations, and after that plant protection measures. There is low fertilizer efficiency, specifically nitrogen in case of ratoon cropping. Gappy population of cane is also one of the reason. There is inherited differences in potential ratoon productivity. So we have to select the varieties which are having the good ratooning capacity. There is reduced initial population in case of ratooning because of reduced stable sprouting. There is decline in soil nutrients status, relatively less efficient enzyme systems, particularly nitrate reductase activity. In case of ratooning, there is soil compaction and poor soil physical status, which is also contributing well in reduction of yields in crop growth. There is shallow root system. There is hastened maturity, early maturity of ratoon cropping. More incidences of pest and diseases like smut, grassy shoot disease and red rot, which are inherited from previous crop. There is prevalence of low temperatures during harvest, especially for early ripening varieties. So these all factors are contributing to the decline in ratoon yield. Now we will go through the root systems in ratoon crops. There are some special features in ratoon cropping system, like ratoons have shallower root system than the plant crop as far as the absorbing part is concerned. The shoots of successive ratoon crops originate at higher level than those of plant crop. Because of these, the roots are having less anchorage, less strength, and they are more susceptible for lodging. Initially, ratoons start functioning on the old stable roots, which is essentially a rope system of the plant crop. The old stable root is less efficient in absorbing nutrients and water. Because of this, the ratoons are having generally less growth compared to plant crop. Initially, the functional white succulent shoot roots of ratoons are very much restricted, and slowly they are developing. The transition period between the decay of the stable roots and the initiation of new shoot roots depends on soil and climatic conditions and may vary from 6 to 8 weeks for the proper development. The old root system gradually ceases to function and decays under tropical conditions. A ratoon will have its own root system in 2 to 4 months. The trend of tiller production closely follows the pace of shoot root formation. Hence, the presence of late tillers is an indication of a vigorous root system. Now we will go through management practices or technology packages for better sugarcane ratoon cropping. It depends on many factors. Like first one is selection of suitable ratoon crop varieties. Under these, the ratoon varieties should have good ratooning capacity. Sugarcane varieties differ in their ratooning ability. Most of the present day sugarcane varieties have good ratooning ability. So we have to take care while selection of ratooning varieties. After that, under selection, we have to think about early maturity and late maturity varieties. Early maturing varieties are poor ratooners than mid or late varieties. Varieties giving high yields as plant crops give better ratoon yields in the most cases. So, while selection, we have to think about all these factors. Second practice is plant crop and its harvest. Good ratoons result from healthy plant crops. The plant crop should be raised under optimum input levels, good management conditions, particularly nutrients and irrigation. Poorly grown plant crops due to reasons like moisture stress, lack of sufficient nutrients, or due to certain pests cannot give satisfactory ratoons. So, good plant crop management is one of the important factors for the ratooning. And there should be plant population management. Plant population management in the ratoons can be maintained if there were adequate stables in the field. If the plant crop has too low a cane population at harvest, it is desirable to avoid ratooning. Pest and disease infected plant crop also should not be used for ratoon cropping. Third practice is gap filling. This is the most important operation for successful ratooning in sugarcane. There may be gaps in ratoon cropping because of poor sprouting, mechanical damage to the stubbles, and pest and disease prevalence. So in such cases, there should be gap filling practice followed. Gap filling can be done with seeds, pre-germinated seedlings, which are grown through polybag system, and taking the clumps from thickly populated areas and filling the gaps. Gaps in ratoons arise due to experience in several countries has shown that nearly 25 to 30% of the area needs to be gap filled. So by gap filling we can maintain the optimum plant population, and definitely it will result in good yielding. Fourth practice is trace management, where the pulverizing and incorporation of trace is done to improve the soil physical and biological activities. There are controversies about trace management, but nevertheless trace handling is an important operation in ratoons. The proponents of tracing suggest higher cane and sugar yield, better control of weeds and early shoot borers, and higher organic matter buildup. Fifth is trace mulching. Trace mulching should be done by applying 3 tons of trace per hectare and need to be spreaded on the field in between the furrows. There are various advantages of trace mulching, like it forms as a cover to the soil, prevents evaporation of soil moisture, conserves the soil moisture, keeps the root zone moist, helps in the production of more tillers, and it controls early shoot borer, keeps the standing crop in less green color, and aids the plant in absorbing more nutrients from the soil. So these are the different advantages, effects of trace mulching and trace management. Sixth practice is to follow cultivation practices, under which there should be cutting the clamps to the ground level. At the time of harvest of plant crop, sharp knives for cutting the clamps to the ground level needs to be used. There should be cleaning of field and removal of dead canes and trusses wherever they are in the field. There should be breaking the clods by intercultivation, which should be done between the furrows with the plough, and there should be a stubble saving, which has to be done with sharp knives to the ground level. The advantages of a stubble saving includes the removal of generated old buds, regeneration of new buds, means ratoon growth regeneration capacity, and care should be taken not to disturb the clump while stubble saving. So these are the cultivation practices to be done. Under this, there should be soldier breaking or off bearing, which is recommended in many sugarcane growing regions in order to open the soil, permitting better aeration and water infiltration. It is a common truism that successive ratoons leave the soil compacted with increased bulk density and reduced porosity. Root proliferation and extension of ratoons practically ceased at an increased bulk density of 1.9 gram per cubic centimeter. In such compacted soils, oxygen potentials were lowered with a consequent reduced uptake of water and nutrients. So there should be timely intercultural operations. Seventh practice is integrated nutrient management. There should be incorporation of inorganic fertilizers, organic fertilizers, biofertilizers, localized application of balanced fertilizers, and foliar sprayage of plant growth regulators and essential nutrients. Under organic fertilizers, there should be balancing of urea, superphosphate, muriate of potash, and it should be applied on correct times as per the scheduled dosage. In case of organic fertilizer, there should be application of biocompost and other organic manures. In case of biofertilizers, there should be inclusions of azospirillum and phosphobacter, which are recommended for getting higher yields and better sugar recovery. Eighth practice is weed management. There should be no pre-emergence herbicides like atrazine, and there should be use of post-emergence herbicide like gramoxone and famoxone. in required dosage. For the control of weeds, if needed, there should be manual weeding also. If it is necessary, it should be done. Ninth practice is water management. Ratoon crops normally required 18 to 20 irrigations in their lifespan. Drip irrigation is also recommended in case of water scarcity, and this is one of the most efficient irrigation method. In certain cases, alternate furrow method is recommended. However, wherever there is plenty of water, normal irrigations at regular intervals are recommended to get higher yields. 10th practice is harvesting of ratoon crop. Ratoons mature early, at least by 1 month when compared to plant crop. It is an established fact that ratoons mature early, and hence all the care should be taken to get the cutting orders to respective sugar factories well in advance so that the cane may be used as an open meal cane at the time of starting of the crushing season. So this presentation was all about ratoon cropping. Hope this will be useful to all of you. Thank you very much. I have given here my YouTube channel details, Journey with Vijay Kumar Srivastava. Having request, please visit the channel, subscribe it, and provide your kind and valuable feedback. Thank you.